How much further must we heft this baggage? Any cell will do. Why not toss him in with this lot? They could use the meat. Him? What about us? My belly aches, and his flesh is seared just the way I like it. Quiet! You two whimper like grunts fresh off the teat. He's not meant for the jails. The hierarchs have something special in mind. Noble prophets of truth and mercy, I have brought the incompetent.
You may leave, Tartarus.
But I thought...
And take your brutes with you.
Release the prisoner.
The council decided to have you hung by your entrails and your corpse paraded through the city. But ultimately, the terms of your execution are up to me.
I am already dead.
Indeed. Do you know where we are?
The mausoleum of the Arbiter.
Quite so. Here rests the vanguard of the great journey. Every Arbiter from first to last. Each one created and consumed in times of extraordinary crisis.
The taming of the Hunters, the Grunt Rebellion. Were it not for the Arbiters, the Covenant would have broken long ago.
Even on my knees, I do not belong in their presence.
Halo's destruction was your error, and you rightly bear the blame. But the Council was overzealous. We know you are no heretic. This is the true face of heresy, one who would subvert our faith and incite rebellion against the High Council.
Our prophets are false. Open your eyes, my brothers. They will use the faith of our forefathers to bring ruin to us all. The great journey is a...
This heretic, and those who follow him, must be silenced.
Their slander offends all who walk the path.
What use am I? I can no longer command ships, lead troops into battle.
Not as you are, no, but become the Arbiter. And you shall be set loose against this heresy with our blessing.
What of the Council?
The tasks you must undertake as the Arbiter are perilous, suicidal. You will die, as each Arbiter has before you. The Council will have their corpse.
What would you have your Arbiter do?
When we joined the Covenant, we took an oath.
According to our station, all without exception.
On the blood of our fathers, on the blood of our sons, we swore to uphold the Covenant.
Even to our dying breath.
Those who would break this oath are heretics, worthy of neither pity nor mercy. Even now, they use our Lord's creations to broadcast their lies.
We shall grind them into dust.
And continue our march to glorious salvation. This armor suits you, but it cannot hide that mark.
Nothing ever will. You are the Arbiter, the will of the prophets. But these are my elites. Their lives matter to me, yours does not. That makes two of us. There is no doubt. The The storm will strike the facility.
We'll be long gone before it arrives. Warriors, prepare for combat! We are the arm of the prophets, Arbiter, and you are the blade. Be silent and swift, and we shall quell this heresy without incident. The storm has masked our approach, and it should have their local battle net in disarray. We have the element of surprise, for now.
What's up guys, Hooky Bird here, bringing you the Noob's Guide to Legendary for the 4th mission in the Halo 2 campaign, the Arbiter.
Engage active camouflage. Reveal yourselves only after the Arbiter has joined battle with the enemy.
You may wish to do the same, Arbiter. But take heed. Your armor system is not as new as ours. Your camouflage will not last forever.
So the first thing you want to do is enter the room, watch your motion tracker, and then tap out this guy. Switch away from your sword, because sometimes that'll wake everybody up. You'll notice the first thing I did when I was outside is I gave one of my grunts my plasma rifle, so I have his plasma pistol. But either way, you want to swap that out for a carbine, then activate your active camo, and assassinate this guy up here. So now you should have an energy sword and a carbine. So I usually start this fight by shooting one of the grunts in the head with the carbine. There's going to be like 5 or 7, something along those lines, and they're the primary threat to the rest of your team, not necessarily to you, because they'll absolutely tear them apart with their needlers. So what I like to do is just take them out with headshots from the carbine before they can do much damage. And then what I'll do is I'll move up and then pull out my sword and either kill them with the sword or just strip their shield and then kill them with headshot. There's going to be 2 heretic elites and then a bunch of grunts coming up from the ramps down there. And if you do that successfully with the sword, carbine, and active camo, you should be able to save most of your team. Somehow this little guy ended up down here. That will probably not happen to you. I think he like fell off one of the conveyor belts. But anyway, first you want to look to the right, shoot the 2 grunts over there with the carbine. Then I like to activate my active camo, and then there's going to be 2 more grunts on the left. One of the elites took out one of them with his beam rifle, but there were 2. And then I'll tear into the elite and the grunts with the sword and the carbine. And then there's a carbine here, if you're running low on ammo, which you shouldn't be. And there's a fresh energy sword here. Then get in the elevator, press the button. And as you can see, my team has taken no casualties. I accidentally left the grunt behind because I didn't see him there on the radar.
Sentinels, the holy warriors of the sacred rings. Why have they sided with these heretics?
So the first thing you want to do is actually activate your active camo and then hide behind the elevator where you'll get a checkpoint. And then you can assassinate the elite without even using your active camo. And then that'll alert everybody to your presence.
Arbiter, clear the hangar and open its doors so I may drop the second lance.
So there's going to be a couple groups. One on the left, one on the right. There's going to be some heretic elites and some grunts, and then some sentinels. So the carbine is fantastic against sentinels, as well as grunts. And then for the elites, you can use the active camo and the sword, as well as plasma grenade sticks. There really is no perfect strategy, so feel free to get creative. Then once you make it to the other end of the hangar, hit the button to open the doors.
Hold position. I am making my approach.
So this part is pretty easy. The only thing that's going to attack at first are just a couple sentinels. The Phantom will do a fantastic job at killing them, and the Carbine does an even better job. 3 shots to an unshielded sentinel will kill it instantly. And then I give my elite my Carbine, because the combat is pretty much medium to long range here. And so he really won't use the sword that effectively. The Carbine is a much better choice. Now here's the inconsistent part, is that there's going to be grunts with fuel rod guns, but you'll never know whether they're going to appear on the left, or the right, or even at all. But once you figure out which side they're on, you can sneak up on them with your active camo, and then just take them out with your sword and the Carbine. Once they're all taken out, there's going to be one final wave that comes from the door where you exit the room. It's going to have 2 turret grunts, 2 elites with carbines, and then 1 elite with an energy sword. Now he should pose 0 threat to you because he just runs straight at you, which makes him really easy to stick with the plasma grenade. Now something that I tried that turns out does not work: don't give a fuel rod gun to one of your allies. They'll do more damage to you than they will to the enemy. So here I like to swap out my energy sword for the plasma pistol here. There's going to be 4 heretic elites and 2 grunts. I start off by sticking the first one and then shooting the 2 grunts with the carbine. And then for the other 3, I'll either use the plasma pistol headshot or plasma pistol grenade stick. Your allies will also help a great deal with their plasma grenades. Just be careful that you don't catch one by mistake. And then go back for your energy sword. For this room, I like to activate my active camo and then stealth kill the grunts. And then usually you won't be able to do it entirely stealthily. The 2 heretic elites will know where you are, so I just set about them with my sword. I really didn't take all that much damage there, I just kind of got stuck, so that wasn't as dangerous as it looked. And then in the middle of the room there's gonna be a heretic elite with a sentinel beam. In this case, I just let my elite buddy strip his shield with his plasma rifle, and then it was almost like a modified version of the elite combo. There's going to be a couple grunts that attack from the far end of the room, but they're not nearly as dangerous as the 2 elites that come out this door on my left. Now watch closely here. I stuck him, but it just fell off. So I call bullshit on that one. Either way, I got it done. Basically, same strategy I've been using the active camo and the sword to kill elites, and carbine headshots to kill grunts. After the room is clear, I like to swap out my sword, which will usually be running low, because I can do the next section up until I reach another energy sword entirely stealthily, so I don't really need it. So for this part, I prefer sneaking to fighting. You have to melee this guy in the back, and if you don't set off the alarm, the elite won't come out the door behind you, and then you can just tap out the grunts. For this entire section, there's going to be fewer enemies if you don't raise the alarm, because enemies will come out those locked doors if and only if you raise the alarm. So there goes another guy down. Now here comes the trickiest part. There's going to be 2 patrolling grunts here. you need to activate your active camo, tap out the one, and then hopefully the other one won't see you, and then hide someplace and wait for your active camo to recharge. It'll take exactly 8 seconds. And then you can tap out the other patrolling grunt. Now, I thought there was another patrolling heretic elite here, so I'm waiting for my active camo to recharge. But it turns out I was wrong. I could have just tapped out those grunts, not needed to worry about it. And then there's another energy sword down here. For this room, I like to activate my active camo, run over and tap out these grunts, but unfortunately, for some reason, this little guy woke up as I killed his buddy. But anyway, you should be able to tap out the grunts and then be able to stick the 2 elites, and then take out the sentinels with the carbine. Then there's going to be another small group of grunts, but you should be able to deal with them with the carbine.
Arbiter.
Next, what I like to do is hop up here using that box and then activate my active camo and then stick one of these elites. Unfortunately, that leaves your team pretty vulnerable, so I try to jump down and protect them by killing the grunts with my carbine as quickly as possible. And then to deal with the other elite, I just use the sword. This part is pretty easy if you know what you're doing. Just use your active camo and assassinate the 2 elites. Start with the one in the back so that the one in front doesn't see it. And then use your carbine to kill all the grunts that are going to come out of that door.
Deal with him, my brothers. I will defend the Oracle. Its truth must not be silenced.
So the heretics outside that window are going to come through one of these doors. It's completely random whether it's going to be the left one or the right one. But as soon as you figure out which one it is, kill the grunts with the carbine and then the elites with the sword. And then there's going to be a couple sentinels that you have to deal with. But as long as you've got a carbine, they should pose no problems to you. 3 shots to an unshielded sentinel will take it down.
The heretics are mobilizing their air forces, Arbiter. Get after their leader, but watch your back. I'm sending one of our phantoms to support you.
So the trick to surviving this Banshee part is to stick with your Phantom. It provides you all the cover you need because the Heretic Banshees will shoot at the Phantom first, and when it shoots back at the Banshees, you'll be able to know where they are. As a side note here, if you want to skip this fight, all you have to do is get in the Banshee, head slightly right, and then head to that bright blue tower I'm looking at right there. And then you can just skip to the end of the mission. But I'm going to fight this out. There's also going to be a couple of stationary guns on that platform over there. You should be able to take them out with the fuel rod gun and a couple rolls, and then if you get hit, there are fresh Banshees back here where you got the first one.
Heretics have weapon emplacements all over the facility, Arbiter. We'll take them out one by one until we find the heretic leader.
So after the elite piloting the Phantom says that he's going to move on, and that's going to trigger these 2 Banshees over here on the left. As long as they don't get behind you, you should be fine. And then there's going to be 2 more Banshees that spawn from the same place once you take out the first 2. So fly over and get behind the one in the back. That'll put you behind both of them. one in the front will probably attack the Phantom, but fortunately the Phantom isn't invincible, so you don't have to worry about keeping it alive. And that's both of them down. Check behind you, make sure there's no Banshees coming up on you. But there are Banshees over there. Same deal as before. Now they aren't a threat to me yet because I'm flying too low, but on that platform are going to be a bunch of grunts with fuel rod guns that are going to be pretty effective anti-air batteries. So just be careful about that, and then when you're ready to take them out, just kind of backflip up to gain altitude, and then use your Banshee Bomb. I believe there's 4 of them on this platform.
All heretic forces have been eliminated. Moving on.
So you can see there's a Banshee over there. I gotta take him out first or else he'll kill me pretty quickly. But after he's dead, now I can deal with the grunts with the fuel rod guns. So there's gonna be a couple more stationary guns, which you can kill pretty easily with the Banshee Bomb. And then a couple more grunts with fuel rod guns. There's also going to be one more stationary gun on the other side, so I just like to fly over there and take it out.
No sign of the heretic leader or his Banshee. We must keep searching.
There's also going to be a pair of fresh Banshees here, so you can swap out your Banshee if it's damaged for a fresh one. So, just like before, I took out the 2 Banshees, and now I'm focusing my attention on the grunts with fuel rod guns. And there's going to be 4 of them, just like before. And you'll notice I only killed 3 of them, so I'm flying back to my Phantom, and it's not moving. It's just sitting right there. So I knew something must be up. So I take another look, and sure enough, I missed one of the grunts.
This way, Arbiter. I see another heretic position.
Once again here, there's going to be some Banshees that attack, but they should focus their attention on the Phantom and not you.
We've tracked the heretic leader to this part of the station. Clear that landing zone and get inside.
Now there's nothing here that you haven't dealt with before. It's just going to be a whole lot of stuff at once. There's going to be stationary guns. There goes the first one. There goes the second one. There's also going to be Banshees behind you, but once again, he's focusing on the Phantom instead of me. Makes him pretty easy to spot and shoot down. And then there's going to be grunts with fuel rod guns, but you can use the Banshee Bomb. There's also going to be stationary guns over here. And then there's going to be some infantry in and around the doorway. So you can either take them out with the Banshee, but you have an advantage if you do it on foot, in that you can sneak up to them with your active camo and the sword. So that's my preferred way of doing it. And then once they're all taken out, which I thought they were, but there's one heretic elite left, so I have to go deal with him. There we go. Once they're all taken out, all you have to do is just stand in front of the door, and the mission will end.